Tenkaichi just released its latest chapter called A Quiet Rock, and this is the review for it. And it kicks off with basically the fight of Kami-Izumi and Hinochoko, the aftermath of that fight. And my god, was that fight amazing. Like, it is more than likely the best fight in the series thus far. Like, I would argue that easily it is the best fight in the series thus far. But everything just came together for this fight so easily. But to top it all off, it's opened a lot of possibilities, as we see with a lot of characters in the series itself kind of flabbergasted at what Kami-Izumi could do with the Celestial Gate, and that is basically de-aging himself, right? Like, he was getting younger in real time until, of course, he turned into a raisin. But something else that the Celestial Gate can do, which I want to remind everyone, is circumvent death for a bit. Because we do know that Kami-Izumi kind of died in his training, right? That's one of the main reasons why he probably couldn't even beat Hinochoko, because he ran out of energy, which basically was fueling him this entire time. So, Kami-Izumi has pretty much opened an entirely new can of worms into the verse, essentially, because there are so many possibilities in terms of fights, abilities, or pseudo powers that we'll see in the future. Because even though Tenkaichi did have its weird supernatural shenanigans, it wasn't over the top. Now, we're getting weirder than Baki now. Like, I've never seen shit like this with Baki, although I have to be sure about that. Point is, the fights in Tenkaichi are going to get weirder. They're gonna get, hopefully, much better all around. It's just a positive thing that the Celestial Gate is gonna be elaborated on, and it's probably gonna be the power system or the pseudo power system of this entire verse. However, as we proceed on with the chapter, we get to see a meeting between Yagorogo, at least I hope that's how you say his name, and Sasaki Kojiro. It seems as though there's some beef going on between the factions, or specifically the faction and Yagorogo himself, because he does kind of hint like, oh, you still holding a grudge? Like, what was that grudge? Could it be something small? Could it be something huge? Because we are dealing with cold-blooded murderers, right? So there's definitely that going on, and it seems as though this will be the next fight, or the next round, as they call it here in the series itself. And I can see a lot of people backing Sasaki, because first of all, he seems to have a lot more connections to characters, right? He has a connection to Musashi, he has the connection to the referee as well. There seems to be something mysterious going on with Sasaki. Now, I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket, but I don't blame anyone for thinking, yeah, it seems as though Sasaki is going to go pretty far in this tournament, and Yagoro, it's like the author's going out of their way to not hype this man up, right? It's like they are trying to avoid everything with this guy. Like, I don't even remember him for most of this, but I do remember Sasaki. So that's some pretty interesting stuff on its own. But before that, right, because this is a pretty important moment for Hinochoko. Hinochoko pretty much, you could say, he inherits the will of Kami-Izumi, basically, and it seems as though he might become a swordsman. Maybe. We're not sure as of yet, but he's definitely holding the sword, and Hinochoko does have the talents to figure this stuff out. And we have to remember, his opponent, forgot his name, is also, he doesn't have that much experience, but a lot of talent as well. So it'll be basically, when we get to that fight eventually in it's gonna be a while until we see like Hino Choko in a fight again. But it's gonna be basically a huge talent contest, really. So I'm very interested to see whether or not he'll become a fully fledged swordsman, or maybe he'll mix it up with sumo, or maybe he won't become a swordsman at all. He's just holding that katana like that was it. Like, I'm going to carry your wheel to the end, and then we find out, nah, actually, I kind of changed my mind. However, the final scene in the chapter is with the chief senior retainer of the Oda clan. So this is someone who's very close to Oda or Nobunaga, essentially. And he's seems to be a lot older than he looks. Now, the only reasonable explanation, at least that we can formulate right now, is that he definitely is using the Celestial Gate. Now, is he a fighter? We're not too sure about that. But I would say it does show that the Celestial Gate is something that honestly anyone can pop off. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Nobunaga Oda was actually nasty. Like, if he's actually nasty and he just activates the Celestial Awakening to basically go to, I guess, a point in time where he was a better fighter, or whatever Kami Izumi was doing, it seems as though there's a lot of flexibility in terms of what the Celestial Gate can do. But it seems as though he has let's say Ujumbe here, which is the character we see with Oda. He is basically trying to, he says he's gonna spice things up in the tournament. Now, what that means, only God knows. To be completely honest, it's anyone's guess. Cause like, what can I even think of? Additional rules? Maybe a new stage is set. We have no idea what this character is gonna do, but it seems as though whatever we were thinking is gonna happen, there are definitely gonna be some changes going on. So along with the Celestial Gate changing the series, we also have Junbei over here also coming in, doing his own shenanigans and messing with Oda's tournament, essentially. Maybe for more entertainment, maybe he's backing someone in particular, although it doesn't actually seem like it. It seems like he's just trying to make things more, I guess, thrilling. So we'll see where this all really ends up. But this, all in all, was just a setup chapter. It's setting up characters, it's setting up relationships, it's setting up the next fight. So I do wonder, like, although I do understand a lot of people are going to back Sasaki here, I'm going to be like, let's wait it out for a bit. At least that's what I think, until we see like who's actually stronger than who. But yeah, that's about it. That's the chapter. Not much really happened besides the Celestial Gate. This new character who's probably using the Celestial Gate, and Hino Choko saying he's gonna probably become a swordsman now. Like, that's it. Anyways, that was the review. I think it was a pretty solid chapter, honestly. It couldn't be like as good as the previous chapters, because I mean, come on, that was, again, we're off the heels of what is basically Adam versus Zeus of Tenkaichi, right? That's this chapter. That was that fight, sorry. So it was going to be pretty hard to, move off of that into like immediately more hype when we kind of need to settle down now. So yeah, like, sub, all that good stuff. Thank you.